All right, welcome everyone. If you're just joining us, welcome to HR Exchange Live Talent Management. It's great to have all of you here. Just a quick reminder, questions can be submitted through the Q&A widget, so make sure to use that. You can send those questions during the presentation, after the presentation. We'll answer those as they come in, so definitely feel free to send those along. Our third presentation of the day is Building the Pillars of Talent Management: Recruit, Learn, Engage, and Perform. Our presentation is Fernando Sanchez Arias. He's the Chief People Officer for Global Custom Commerce, a Home Depot company. Fernando, great to have you. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for all of you who are part of this knowledge exchange and the space of sharing and learning from each other. So the topic that we're going to be sharing today is building the pillars of talent management: recruit, learn, engage, and perform. I have, by design, used a title that is the 5 A's of talent management. When I was invited to share with you some of my experiences in how we can be better at managing our talent, I was able to see the whole process that my customers, and whether I am being an advisor or my internal customers when I am an executive, are demanding from our people experts. So I will start by setting the objectives for today. The first objective is to be able to reflect on how semantic has a great influence in the words and in the meaning, especially when we refer to our function, to our field, to our profession. The other one is how we can actually think and reflect on the way we recruit, we learn, we engage, and we perform. And the third objective that I'm aiming in this sharing is to be able to invite you to use the 5 A's in a more agile and innovative and effective way. Once you identify them and once you know them and distinguish them, you can actually use them in your day-to-day as an executive, as a consultant, or as a business leader who's really committed to be better leading people and making them be engaged, happy, doing what they need to do to produce results. So the other thing that I would like to take you is how we can actually go through different items that I have prepared to share with you. We're going to visit a recruit, learn, engage, and perform, a reflection of going from HR to a more impactful and fair way to approach and refer to our function, the 3 engaging domains of our associates, the 3 self-leadership competencies that we might be inviting them to develop and master, the meat of our sharing today, the 5 A's of people strategy, and of course, the roles of the people strategy. And I will end the session and the conversation with an invitation. So if we move to a more connected world, we need to be able to exchange. So please feel free to contact me through LinkedIn. Also, I have an approach of connection that I normally give my phone, so you can reach me through text. And so feel free to contact me, and also to be able to see your perspective about the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, and also your experiences, because we all learn and when we are exchanging our perspectives and views. So where are we right now? We are in a world of digital transformation. When we see how the things are changing dramatically, we know that we're in a space that is very different than the one that we saw yesterday. So today is being dramatically challenging in how we connect with people, how we interact with our customers, and we're going to a more diverse diverse reality, but also a diverse reality that is a digital reality. And no matter the type of people, the background of the people that we're working with in our working environment, that we're interacting with as a provider of services and products with our customers, we know that the audience, internally and externally, are connected through a digital reality and platform. So we are living in a digital society. A digital society brings the challenge of really being different and being able to embrace a different perspective of how we work with talent, how we educate our people, and how we become learning leaders, and also how we create learning communities, because we're more and more in a reality that I call a phygital reality. This is a term used in digital marketing that also is used in IT when we see the reality with a physical component and with a digital component. And that is really dramatic when we're thinking that we as people leaders, we have the duty to commit with our people, making them successful, happy, and effective in what they do, both in the physical space and the digital space. But how can we do that? Well, we need to attract the best, okay? Help them to learn what they need to learn, help them to feel engaged, and of course, to ensure that they can perform, produce the results that the customers are expecting them to deliver, and that internally, their supervisors, their internal customers are expecting them to be accountable for. I want to introduce, with this context creation, one video that one of our associates did in one of our divisions where I have the fortune to be serving. And we did a contest that was named, "My Job is Better Than Your Job." So we will go ahead and share that video because it reflects the type of connection that an associate might have with the company that he or she serves. And I think it will show, and we will set as a very good baseline and foundation for the next topics that I will be sharing with you.
To develop analytical capabilities that empower our business partners to make fast and accurate decisions.
To have speed, veracity, and freshness in our internal communications.
To make it easy for our customers, we need to make it easy for our associates to be successful. That's the key to our strategy here at Global Custom Commerce, a Home Depot company. Each of us owns our development by taking proactive steps to acquire the knowledge, the attitudes, and skills we need to be the best we can be in our jobs and in our lives.
Development is to grow, progress, improve, and advance, showing we can learn to be better every day, having a sense of urgency and a bias for action, being flexible and agile, to be able to give fast responses to our internal and external customers, and at the same time, make all our dreams come true.
How? We do this through a development process that encourages growth no matter where you find yourself in your learning journey. Maker. I am learning how to be good at being able to make it easy. Model. I am good at what I do to make it easy and others can see it. Mentor. I am very good at what I do, and I help others to make it easy. Master. I am among the best at doing what I do, and I make it easy in other roles and functions. We make it easy to own your development through tools and services like the one-on-one conversation planner, the quarterly review of goals and values, the development blueprints, the Iliad learning experiences like coaching, mind mapping, NBLF, no-brainer learning facilitators, and Fuel, forward-thinking, uplifting, engaging leadership. The Home Depot University offers additional programs, thousands of articles, book summaries, videos, and podcasts by Knowledge Depot, retreats and summits, coaching and mentoring interactions, together with cross-functional projects and assignments. GCC is a great place to better ourselves intellectually, emotionally, and behaviorally. The resources are here, the opportunities are here, and you need only to own your development.
I own my own development and make it easy.
I own my development and make it easy.
We make it easy!
So that was one of the approaches that we had when we started to conceive how we actually give the power to our associates to own the processes from the recruitment to the learning to the engagement and, of course, the performance. And through that structure, we see that we need to reflect on how we call ourselves. And the invitation that I have right now is to think, are we resources? What is the meaning of that? I believe, and I want to encourage you to think that we are the people who use the resources. And of course, that is evident, that is logic, and that is clear. But unfortunately, there is a paradox in what we know and how we continue using terms that are not reflecting who we are. So when we visit the SHRM competency model overview, when we see how the society that leads the function invites us to develop a set of competencies that are way, way beyond the normal administrative work of a journalist. When we also compare the Canadian Association for people managers, people leaders, professionals in our field, we see that the level of development is extremely high. The same when we compare the UK CIPD framework. But when we listen and learn from the academic perspective of how a professional in our area needs to perform and what do our professional needs to know and master. But also when we listen to the expert as Dave Ulrich, when he guides us with his team, both at RBL and at the Michigan Ross Business School, through the different stages that we have gone through the very traditional people, administrative, and industrial perspective of our profession to a more dynamic, agile, and innovative and strategic approach. We also see that the trends are telling us that we need to improve the perspective and the performance that we have as business advisors, and also that we are connected to a greater good, to a reality that is really, really inviting us to be different from within our companies to the impact that we have. So it is really, really powerful when we observe how we can actually make a difference if we transform the way we perceive our function from HR to RH. So from seeing the people and resources, from acting as a generator of resources for people. But I want to take you even further. I invite you to go beyond and above this reality. and go from an HR denomination that is very basic, administrative, and focusing compliance from a very tailorist industrial perspective to an intermediate operational and tactical support where I provide resources to our people in our organizations to a more really strategic perspective, calling our function people strategy, because we are people strategists. And in this advanced perspective, we are agile performers of a strategy. We're designers of the strategy, but we ensure that our people and our leaders will be agile performers. And how we can accomplish this? And we can certainly
My job is better than your job. We have Mindful Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, Waffle Wednesdays, Reflection Fridays, Build Your Own Sundays, and Cake. We have mobile haircuts and
So we can actually touch our people with 3 domains. In my book, Learning to be a Dolphin, A Sea of Sharks, that will be soon published in English and French. It has already been published in Spanish and Portuguese. I invite the leaders to see the domains of their associates and their own domains in 3 buckets. One is the cognitive, the intellectual, the things that the people needs to know is the head. The thinking, the learning, how I learn, how I think, how I actually process data, and how I can develop my intellectual capacity. Also, the emotional domain is the heart, where we can actually develop and show attitudes, feelings, sentiments, how we can inspire others and ourselves. And the third bucket, the third domain, is the action, where we see the hands, where we see the behavior, the physical domain and component, the skills, the abilities, the doing, the executing. So these 3 domains are critical because it's the way that we can engage with our associates from an intellectual, emotional, and behavioral perspective. How we can stimulate and touch the head, the heart, and the hands of our associates in our organization, and of course, those that are involved as stakeholders. So now I will share with you how we can actually engage associates in that. And please, Mason, if you can push the video that we had for this section, thank you.
My job is better than your job. We have Mindful Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, Waffle Wednesdays, Reflection Fridays, Build Your Own Sundays, and Cake. We have mobile haircuts and food trucks, mobile car wash, mobile fill-ups, food-fights, and cake. We have health care, profit share, child and pet care, free flu shots, discount stocks, 401k, paid birthday, maternity for mom and me, diversity, and cake. We have holiday giveaways, contest drawings, love day, back and neck and foot massage, fresh fruit, therapy dogs, espresso, latte, cappuccino and coffee, green tea, and free PB&J and cake. We have Xbox, ping pong, foosball and shuffleboard, and when you're bored on break, and cake. We have an inverted pyramid, servant leaders, LinkedIn Learning, leadership summits, Iliad, Yescalate, and cake. My job's better than your job because I can have my cake and eat it too.
So this was one of many of the videos created by our associates to express how they were engaged. And if we see, there are logic reasons, there are cognitive reasons of how I should be engaged, but the feeling, the emotional component is critical. Do I really feel engaged? Emotionally, I am engaged. And of course, how my behavior and my performance and the results I deliver can demonstrate the engagement I say I have and I feel I have. So the encouragement goes to all the people leaders, whether you are an executive, a consultant, an academic or scientist in social sciences, or a non-for-profit leader, or just a business leader who wants to really make a difference, is to develop three main areas of or competency areas. The first one is a cognitive one. Is we expect that the most advanced associates will be able to be fast learners, to have the ability to learn fast, to think effectively, to conceptualize, to analyze, to plan, to solve problems, and generate creative ideas to accomplish objectives. At the same time, we want our associates, and we need our associates to be able to engage in their communication, to go beyond the words and be able to listen, to empathically connect, to feel the other person who is in front of them, to actually be able to read them, and of course, shape your views in a clear, simple, succinct, and inspiring way so you can share them effectively. The third self-leadership competency that we encourage any people leader, talent manager to develop in their associates is to be a focused executor. Why? Because we need our people to have the ability to use physical energy, to be able to take relevant and strategic actions individually and collectively, so we can effectively accomplish both personal and professional and organizational objectives. And this is the way that we are accountable. So our invitation is to be able to go through a process that I have called the 5 A's of people strategy. And if you are going to remember something out of this conversation, please remember these 5 A's. And the first A is the A of attraction. Attraction is the effort we do in branding to have a great employer a value proposition, to have a very robust company of choice brand, reaching how we physically and digitally reach to our potential candidates and potential associates. How do we do the sourcing? How active and intentionally we are to attract the best to our organization. The second A is the A of assessment. It's where we can make sure that the people we are attracting is the right one for our organization, both in competency levels and, of course, in culture enhancement. Not because we are seeking people from cultural feeds, it's because we're seeking people for cultural enhancement, people that can not only feel our culture and enjoy it, but also enrich it, improve it, make it better. And in this in the A of assessment, we do the screening, how we, by phone, by video, screen that potential associate as a candidate, and we make sure that is the right person. How do we interview? How effective and seamless and frictionless is our interview process? How do we do calibration? How we calibrate the interviewers and the screeners together to make sure that that person is the right person for that job, for that leader, for that team, for that customers. And the third one, the third A, we have covered attraction, where we branding, reaching, and sourcing. We have cover assessment, where we do a screening, interviewing, and calibrating. Now we have in the third A, acquisition is where we do the offering, when we recruit, the recruiting, and when we do the preparation, when we do preparing. So offering is make sure that that offer will be accepted. The recruitment is all the formal administrative process to do the background check, to do the I-95, to ensure that this is the right person legally and administratively to join the company. And of course, if that person is prepared for the first day, because the first day is the most important day of an associate. When that person is feeling the culture, feeling the leaders, feeling the environment, feeling the people, and making sure that that decision to join us is the right one. And the 4A is advancement. And advancement is the onboarding process. How do we make sure that that first day is amazing and that the onboarding process enable that person, ensure that that person is going to be happy, is going to be productive, is going to be able to generate value, and is going to know where to go, what to do, with whom to talk, and how he or she will be measured, and which are the resources technologically, physically, and financially that he or she can access to be able to produce the results that we're expecting her or him to do. The developing, how we're going to be developing that person, how to encourage that person, that associate, to own the development as we saw in the video. And of course, they're retaining. How do we ensure that that person will last long, that will be a long tenure person, contributing to the company with the best, in the best way, with the best results and the best behavior, that it will be an example and a role model of our values, and at the same time will be able to exceed the expectations in terms of the result that he or she is able to accomplish. And the 5th A, so we have covered attraction, assessment, acquisition, and advancement. The 5th A is the A, is a makeup word that I made specifically for this. Is the alumni. So how do we do with the offboarding? How do we ensure that those who are going to leave the company, whether because they are retiring, whether they are accepting another offer in another company, whether they are thinking about taking a sabbatic or just going back to graduate school, or doing a stop, or just going to be entrepreneurs in a venture. We need to ensure that it will be the proper mentoring before they leave and after they leave, that we are going to be able to positively connect with them, that they are going to become ambassadors of our company. And of course, how we're going to be leveraging them once they leave the company for the positioning of our brand, for the attraction of talent, and of course, if they were able to have a wonderful experience, to be able to connect with us, serving us, produce more customers, better associates for the future. What else can we do? Well, we need to ensure that the attraction, assessment, acquisition, advancement, and alumni will be effective. But we cannot do that if we, as people leaders, as people strategists, we do not have the right competencies. So I just want to share with you the way that we are using to develop our people leaders. One, we need to ensure that they are agile business experts, that they are able to have an agile business acumen, that they learn about the company, the industry, and the market. They also need to be people strategy masters. They have to have a high mastery of the technical components, functions, the knowledge in terms of human resources, as we call it, people strategy. And of course, they have to be a people engagement advocates. They have to have a high level of people engagement and advocacy to ensure that the associate is included, is considered, they have all the things that they need to be a value, to be productive, and to find meaning and happiness at the workplace. And of course, they engage in servant leadership that we all need to exhibit. And with this, I would like to ensure that we have a possibility to share another perspective of being a talent manager, that the 4 pillars that we're introducing now become 5 big spaces and dimensions of our function as talent leaders. And I want to invite you to design with intention, to be able to encourage your CEO, your vice presidents, and your officers to think about people as part of the business radically relevant strategy. And this is the great invitation, because we need to ensure that we are able to be the challenging advisors, but also the advocates of a better reality in our organizations. I want just to refresh what we cover. We talked about recruit, learn, engage, and perform. We invite and encourage us to go from HR from human resources to resources for human, and then to people strategy. We talked about the 3 engaging domains: the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral, the head, the heart, and the hands. We also talked about the competencies: be a very fast learner, be an engaging communicator, and be a focused executor. We also talked about the 5 A's of people strategy: the ability to attract, to assess, to acquire, to advance, and to create that alumni feeling of those who transition out of our organization. The roles of the people strategies to be able to have the business acumen, the people strategy knowledge, the advocacy for our associates, and of course, the engaging leadership and servant leadership that we need to exhibit. With this, I want to remind our objectives. What were the objectives? First, to reflect on the power of semantic and the best use for the words that we use to refer to our position and our profession and our function, to going from HR to RH to people strategy. Then to refresh the basis from recruit, learn, engage, and perform. Of course, to distinguish the 5 A's of people strategy: attract, assess, acquire, advance, and create the alumni in those who leave our organization. With this, I want to invite you to create a work environment that allows anyone to feel represented, to feel part, to be engaged. Thank you for allowing me to share this experience and knowledge and expertise with you, and also to be able to learn from you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Fernando Sanchez Arias, Chief People Officer from Global Custom Commerce, a Home Depot company. Phenomenal presentation. Always do a phenomenal presentation. So thank you for being with us. Everybody, time to move into the next presentation. So just remember, click on the link in your email or on the agenda there and click already registered. All right. See you in a few minutes, everyone.